In one of my favourite films, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is a film I know many of you will have seen, amazing movement and choreography and music, there is a villain, Jade Fox. Now, Jade Fox has a young understudy, student learner that she brings up, teaching her the dark arts, the dark kind of martial arts, hidden skills that they learn from the Book of Wudan, that they've stolen from the Wudan monks on Wudan Mountain, I think. Anyway, the point is, Jade Fox then watches her young student learner have a fight with our hero. And as she watches on, she is both mesmerised and mortified that she can see some skills in her young learner that are way beyond her own skills. And she can't understand how she got that good, given that they've both been learning from the same book. Well, as the story goes, I think Jade Fox was illiterate and she was learning from the pictures, but the young girl was high society and was able to read all the text and the subtext. Anyway, the reason I tell you the story is because I have found, I think from the same period actually, what I believe to be golf's hidden Book of Wudan, and it is a DVD of The Pyramid of Learning by Pete Cowen. And in this, he kind of outlines his whole kind of philosophy of coaching. And, you know, if you watch it kind of half paying attention, you'll get nothing from it. But if you really start to peel back the layers, there are some real gems in this. And in this video, I'm going to share with you, I think, one of the things that really makes Pete Cowen's method stand out, and something I've not heard in any other kind of coaching methodology. Actually, there's quite a lot to the DVD, so what I'm going to do is create a playlist, which I'll link down below and probably at the end of the video as well. But before we get into today's drill, let's have a little bit of context and backstory into how Pete Cowen sees the world, because the whole thing really is built around Pete Cowen hates any kind of notion of what he would call outwards rotation, and that is squaring the club up with this motion of the right arm and the outside of the arm kind of coming around like so. So in doing so, turning the face in without any kind of counter pressure to stabilize the face. So if you're familiar with any of Pete Cowen's concepts, probably the most famous would be his one of spinning the right arm down. He sees the squaring of the club mainly around how the forearms work, and wants the elbow and the shoulder muscles to be supporting that and not kind of giving up and moving this way. Let's get into today's drill. So it's a fabulous drill, and it's one that you can do at home, in the office, and I'm sure Pete Cowen would suggest that you do it as often as possible. And it works like this. It's all around how the forearms work to control the club face. So he only kind of suggests you do both arms together, but I'm going to break it down. The right arm, you put it in front of you, there's a slight sort of bend in the elbow, and you start with the kind of fist and thumb like so, horizontally, and you just practice turning that right arm in while, and it's a good idea to put your finger there, while you keep the elbow intact. So we're trying to get away from his outward rotation. But while that's going on, he also would like you to be making this move with the left. So the left starts pointing up and you're turning it in. Now, put the two together, you've got the thumbs like so, and you create this motion, trying to keep the elbow still and create it all through the forearms. Now this bit I get, that's his spinning the arm down, isn't it? But this one, surely that's going in the wrong direction. Well, that is what I initially thought. I mean, if you've got both hands on the club, if one arm's turning in, then of course the other one is an antagonist to that, isn't it? It's moving with it. One arm goes one way, the other one supports it. You can't have the hands fighting and going opposite directions. But that is Pete Cowen's equal and opposite forces. So you might be familiar with his ringing the towel drill. If not, that'll be in the playlist. He wants equal and opposite forces on the handle, again, to keep the club, to quote another coach's phrase, contained and not sort of wobbly and flopping around. He does not want both hands, he does not want both hands moving this way through impact. Although the club's going to be moving that way, he wants the right forearm turning in, while this arm is providing, although he doesn't use this word, this is providing a counter torque to stabilize the face. So this one's turning inwards, this one's also turning inwards, which is an opening torque, but as the two fight each other, that is providing really stable conditions on the grip and the shaft to put pressure on the ball and keep that face stable and square for longer. So I guess in Pete Cowen's model then, that idea of the tennis racket or the circle drill, I mean, he would be horrified at the idea of the circle drill where we kind of turn the club over that way with no kind of counter stability. That would not be in Pete Cowen's model. So, all right, what have we got? We've got the forearm drill, like so. How does that work? How does that work on the handle? Well, you can't really see counter torques, so it's difficult to see, but I'll try and kind of convey as best I can. The right forearm is spinning down, meanwhile this forearm is turning, not the arm, this forearm is turning in to kind of support and stabilise the face. So I suppose, you know, in some way, if I ask somebody to hit a fade and hold the face off, then this is winning the race a little bit more, and if I ask you to hit a draw, then I guess that one's winning the battle a little bit more as you kind of manipulate the face. But in a straight shot, we have got, you know, the arms dropping down, this one's turning in, this one's applying the counter twist, and we end up with that stable face and that kind of familiar look through the arms that we see with really good players. And he would kind of, and he makes these moves where the club kind of pushes down the line for longer as well. And I can feel the definite battle going on with the hands there. There is not one or the other winning. There definitely isn't. This kind of motion of the right side coming through and, yeah, really trying to kind of close the face off and hit these big high loopy hooks. Now personally, I love the idea of counter torques. I think the whole swing is built around aligning forces and torques. So you can't have too many torques going one way and without any kind of stabilization. I think you can also do it more aggressively with the way that you move your feet and the way that you twist the handle, but we'll get into that in other videos. Now, if nothing else, please have a go at the drill, have a play around with that, see if you can. I mean, for many people, they can't, initially anyway, it's not a hugely difficult skill, but initially they wouldn't be able to sort of turn the forearms in without the arms going as well. If you take just that from today, just learn the right arm, then I think that's going to go a long way. But that idea of stabilizing through the lead side, I think that is absolutely brilliant. So if you want to delve more into my interpretation of Pete Cowen's methodology, then that'll be in that playlist. And of course, I'll also link down below where you can buy the original DVD, that Book of Wu Dan, and you can hear it from Pete Cowen's words himself. But before I see you next time, give it a go. Let me know how you get on in the comments below. And good luck. Play well.